Caught my wife cheating in our bed, so I filed for divorce. Then she tried to kill my new girl. Now she's in prison. I'm a hydroelectric engineer. I solve problems for a living. When a turbine fails, I don't panic, I analyze. When pressure builds, I calculate flow rates. When systems break down, I document everything before I fix them. That's exactly what I did when I opened my bedroom door at 3:33 p.m. on a Thursday and saw my wife in bed with another man. I should back up. Her name is Veronica Hale. Was. Is. Doesn't matter. Textile designer, 29, been together 6 years, married 3. We had the kind of life people envy from the outside: nice house, good jobs, dinner parties where everyone laughs at the right moments. I wasn't supposed to be home. Equipment malfunction at the dam site meant we shut down early. I texted her I was heading back. She didn't respond. Normal enough. I pulled into our driveway at 3:45. Her car was there. Another car too, silver Audi I didn't recognize. Walked in. Quiet house. Then I heard it. Not loud, but distinct. Upstairs. I didn't run. Didn't call out. Just walked up the stairs like I was heading to check the thermostat. Opened the bedroom door. There she was. Veronica. With some guy I'd never seen before. They both froze. Here's the thing about high pressure situations: your brain either short circuits or it kicks into overdrive. Mine did the latter. I didn't yell. Didn't move toward them. Just stood there for exactly 12 seconds and memorized everything. His face. Late 30s, expensive watch, panicked expression. The angle of the afternoon light through our curtains. The time on our bedside clock. Her expression, not shock. Annoyance. Like I'd interrupted something inconvenient. The guy scrambled for his clothes. Veronica pulled the sheet up, started with "It's not what it." I held up one hand. Didn't say a word. Turned around. Walked out. Got in my car. Drove. She called. I let it ring. 15 minutes later I'm parked at a coffee shop 3 miles away. Hand steady. Breathing normal. I open my laptop. Our house has security cameras. Front door, garage, backyard. I installed them myself 2 years ago after the neighborhood break-ins. Veronica never paid attention to them. I logged into the app. Scrolled back. There it was, silver Audi pulling in at 2:17 p.m. Guy walking to our front door. Veronica letting him in. Downloaded the footage. Sent it to my personal email. Uploaded to Google Drive. Dropbox. External hard drive in my laptop bag. 3 backups. 3 separate locations. Then I pulled up our phone records through the carrier website. Found his number in her call log. Screenshotted everything. Backed it up. Credit card statements, pulled them. Bank records, downloaded. Every receipt, every transaction from the last year. By the time the sun came up the next morning, I was sitting in a booth at Jerry's Diner across from Deirdre Walsh. Deirdre and I went to college together. Roommates sophomore year. She went to law school, now handles family law. I called her at 5:34 a.m. She answered on the second ring. "You did all this already?" she said, scrolling through the documentation on my laptop. I don't react, I told her. I calculate. She looked at me like she was seeing someone new. Most people come to me a mess. You came prepared for war. I came prepared for truth. She started the paperwork right there. Divorce filing. Asset protection. Evidence documentation. By sunset, I was back at the house. Veronica tried to talk the second I walked in. Started with apologies, then excuses, then blame. "You're never home. You don't listen to me." I felt alone. I walked past her. Straight to my office. Locked the door. Spent the next 4 hours backing up everything I could find. Every text message. Every email. Every photo. Bank statements going back 5 years. Her personal files, because we shared the home computer. Hotel charges I found going back 9 months. Different names. Different cities. This wasn't a one-time thing. It was a pattern. I created a folder. Named it Project Clarity. Around 11 p.m., she knocked on the office door. "We need to talk about this." I didn't look up from the computer screen. "Talk to my lawyer. Papers are coming." The papers were filed Monday morning. Veronica was served Wednesday afternoon at her textile studio. I know because her attorney called mine screaming about humiliation and public embarrassment. Deirdre put her on speaker so I could hear. "Your client had her served in front of her colleagues," the woman said. "This is harassment." Deirdre's response was beautiful. My client filed for divorce through proper legal channels. How the process server chose to execute service is not our concern. Perhaps your client should have thought about embarrassment before committing adultery in my client's home. Click. I didn't smile. Didn't feel victorious. Just checked another box on my mental list. That's when Veronica started her campaign. Within 24 hours, mutual friends were texting me. She says you were emotionally absent. She mentioned you worked too much. She's really hurting. I didn't respond to any of them. Didn't defend myself. Didn't explain. Just screenshotted every message. Added them to Project Clarity. Her social media became a masterclass in victim narrative. Vague posts about betrayal and cold hearts and finding yourself after giving everything. Never named me directly. Didn't have to. Everyone knew. I documented every single post. Timestamps. Full screenshots. Saved the metadata. She called me 63 times in the first week. I answered once. We can work through this, she said. Her voice had that practice softness she used when she wanted something. Couples therapy. We can save this. No. You're throwing away 6 years over one mistake. I hung up. Recorded the call. Added it to the file. Her attorney was a piece of work. Stanford educated, expensive suit, reputation for bleeding divorce cases dry. Their strategy became clear fast: paint me as the villain, claim she built my career through emotional support, demand half of everything. The formal demands came 2 weeks in. Half the house equity. Half my retirement accounts. Half my savings. Spousal support for loss of lifestyle. Deirdre called me after reviewing their filing. They're aggressive. This is going to get ugly. Let it. What Veronica and her lawyer didn't know, I had 9 months of hotel charges. 4 different men. Credit card receipts from restaurants on nights she told me she was working late. Text messages to her friends describing one guy as better than her husband in every way. I didn't just have evidence of infidelity. I had a timeline. A pattern. Proof of lies. Her texts to me became weapons. She'd swing between manipulation and threats within the same hour. 2:34 p.m. I still love you. We built a life together. Don't throw it away. 2:51 p.m. You're going to regret humiliating me like this. Everyone will know what kind of person you really are. I saved every single one. Never responded. Just archived. She thought I was devastated. Told her friends I was broken, shut down, not handling it well. She was wrong. I was systematically building an airtight case while she performed grief on social media. Then, 3 months in, she got reckless. Started showing up at my apartment building. I'd moved out after the papers were filed, rented a place across town. But she'd drive by. Park across the street. Just sit there in her car. I documented it. Photos. Dates. Times. She followed me to the gym one Tuesday. Stood by the entrance when I came out. Didn't say anything. Just stared. Added it to the file. The text got darker. You think you've won? This isn't going to end the way you think. She won't last. Her lawyer must have told her to stop. She didn't listen. Preliminary hearing came 4 months after I filed. Standard procedure, division of assets, temporary living arrangements, discovery timeline. I sat next to Deirdre with a 3-inch binder of documentation. Bank records. Phone records. Hotel receipts. Screenshots. Photos. Everything organized by date and category. Veronica's attorney tried to make me look calculating. Your client came prepared for this divorce before it even started, she said. He had already gathered evidence, already consulted counsel. This shows premeditation. The judge, older woman, reading glasses, no-nonsense expression, looked up from the documents. Counselor, your client was caught in flagrante delicto in the marital home. That the petitioner responded by documenting evidence and seeking legal counsel shows intelligence, not malice. Motion denied. She awarded me temporary sole possession of the house. Froze joint accounts pending full hearing. Set discovery deadlines. Veronica's face went white, then red. We walked out of the courthouse into cold afternoon air. I headed toward my car. Behind me, Veronica's voice cut through the parking lot. This isn't over. I turned. She was standing by her car, attorney trying to pull her away. Her expression wasn't sad anymore. Wasn't hurt. It was pure rage. This isn't over, she repeated. I got in my car and drove away. 5 months later, I was in a different place. Not physically, still the same apartment, same job, same city. But mentally, I'd moved on. The divorce was still grinding through the system. Veronica contested everything. Her attorney filed motion after motion, dragging out discovery, demanding depositions. Standard scorched earth tactics. I let Deirdre handle it. Showed up when required. Answered questions. Provided documentation. Then went back to my life. That's how I met Alara. My friend Tobias, civil engineer, works in bridge design, dragged me to an art exhibit opening. "You need to get out," he said. "You've become a hermit." I went to shut him up. The gallery was small, local artists, wine and cheese crowd. I was planning to stay 20 minutes. Then I saw her work. Botanical illustrations. Hyper-realistic drawings of native plants, done in ink and watercolor. Each one labeled with Latin names and habitat notes. Scientific precision meets artistic detail. She was standing next to her display when I walked up. Alara Quinn. 30, dark hair pulled back, paint-stained fingers, calm energy. "You actually read the habitat notes," she said, watching me. "I work with ecosystems," I told her. "Water flow, plant life, environmental impact. Your accuracy is impressive." We talked for 2 hours. Not about my divorce. Not about her past relationships. Just plants, rivers, art, engineering. Easy conversation. No games. She knew about the divorce, Tobias had mentioned it. She didn't pry. Didn't offer unwanted advice. Just accepted it as a fact and moved on. We started seeing each other. Coffee twice a week. Gallery visits. Quiet dinners. Nothing heavy. Just clean, simple, peaceful. With Veronica, everything had been performance. Drama. Emotional manipulation disguised as passion. With Alara, everything just worked. She'd show me her latest illustration. I'd explain how hydroelectric systems functioned. We'd sit in comfortable silence. No chaos. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. It was a Tuesday afternoon when everything changed. We'd spent the day at her studio, a converted warehouse space she shared with 3 other artists. She'd been working on a series of fern illustrations. I'd been reading technical manuals on my tablet, just enjoying the quiet. Around 4:30, we decided to get dinner. "There's a Vietnamese place 2 blocks over," she said, packing up her supplies. "Best find the city." We walked out into late afternoon sun. Her studio was in the arts district, old brick buildings, narrow streets, parallel parking. My car was half a block down. We were talking about weekend plans. She wanted to visit the botanical gardens. I was suggesting we could pack a lunch, make a day of it. She laughed at something I said. I don't even remember what. Then I heard it. Engine screaming. Too loud. Too close. I looked up. Black sedan, coming around the corner. Not slowing down. Accelerating. Aimed directly at us. Everything slowed down and sped up simultaneously. I grabbed Alara. Pushed her toward the parked cars lining the street. My body moving on instinct, not thought. Not fast enough. Metal crashing. Her scream. Sharp, immediate pain. Impact threw us both. I felt my ribs crack against a car fender. Heard Alara hit the ground. Her leg bent at an angle that wasn't right. Screeching brakes. Burning rubber smell. I was on the pavement. Pain radiating through my chest. Looked over, Alara wasn't moving. Her leg was wrong. Badly wrong. Then I heard the car door open. Footsteps. Coming closer. I rolled onto my side. Looked up. Veronica stood there. Not rushing to help. Not panicking. Not checking if we were alive. Just standing. Looking down at us. Her face wasn't shocked. It wasn't horrified. It was satisfied. For maybe 3 seconds, she just stared. Then something shifted in her expression, realization of what she'd done, maybe. Or realization that people were running over, phones out. But in those 3 seconds, I saw it clearly. Not panic. Not regret. Hate. Pure, cold, calculated hate. And in that moment, lying there with broken ribs and Alara screaming beside me, I understood. This wasn't emotional. It was planned. But so was I. Someone was calling 911. Multiple someones. Voices overlapping, people running over. Alara was screaming. High-pitched, pain-filled screams that cut through everything else. I pushed myself up. Ribs grinding. Looked at her leg, tibia broken, bone visible through torn skin. Compound fracture. Veronica was backing away. Hands up. It was an accident. The brakes failed. A man in a business suit grabbed her arm. You accelerated. I saw you accelerate. No, I tried to stop, I couldn't. Sirens already. Close. Someone must have called immediately. I crawled over to Alara. Put pressure on her leg wound with my jacket. She was going into shock, eyes unfocused. Stay with me, I said. Ambulance is coming. Stay with me. Paramedics arrived in under 4 minutes. They worked fast, stabilized her leg, started in 4, loaded her onto the stretcher. One of them checked my ribs, said something about possible fractures, insisted I come too. Police were already surrounding Veronica's car. I caught the eye of one of the officers before they loaded me into the ambulance. Older guy, detective's badge visible. Check her phone, I said. Voice steady despite the pain. Check her messages. This wasn't an accident. He looked at me like I was in shock. Sir, let's get you checked out first. My name is on the registration for this car. I pointed at my vehicle. Hers is the black sedan. We're in the middle of a divorce. Check. Her phone. That got his attention. At the hospital, they took Alara straight to surgery. Emergency orthopedic team. Compound fracture, possible nerve damage, needed immediate intervention. I got x-rays. 3 cracked ribs. Lacerations requiring stitches. Bruising. Nothing life-threatening. I was in the ER when Detective Morrison found me. Same cop from the scene. Witnesses confirm the vehicle accelerated toward you, he said, notepad out. No evidence of braking. Driver claims mechanical failure. Did you check her phone? We need a warrant for that. I pulled out my own phone. Opened my encrypted cloud storage. I have 5 months of documented stalking. Text messages. Photos of her following me. Threats. Everything you need for probable cause. He stared at me. You documented all this? I'm a problem solver. She became a problem. I documented the problem. Sent him the files right there. He scrolled through them on his phone. His expression changed. I'll get that warrant. 72 hours later, I was sitting in Alara's hospital room when Morrison came back. She'd made it through surgery. Tibia repaired with plates and screws. They'd saved the leg, but she'd need months of physical therapy. Might have a permanent limp. She was sleeping when Morrison knocked. We stepped into the hallway. Your ex-wife's phone records are interesting, he said. Google searches from 2 days before the incident. How long for brake failure investigation? Can car accidents look intentional? Accidental death penalties. I didn't react. Just waited. We also pulled her vehicle. Had it inspected by our forensic mechanic. Brake system is perfect. No mechanical issues whatsoever. So it wasn't an accident. No, sir. It wasn't. He showed me his tablet. Forensic report. Then something else, recovered deleted messages from Veronica's phone. Texts to her friends, he'll pay for this. That artist B word won't last. I'll make sure of it. Searches about my schedule. Alara's studio location. Our routines. Location data showing Veronica's car had been to Alara's studio neighborhood 3 times in the week before the attack. She was planning this, Morrison said. I thought about Project Clarity. The documentation I'd kept. The patterns I'd identified. I have more, I told him. Everything from the divorce. Escalating threats. Her behavior pattern. Do you want it? He looked at me with something like respect. Most victims aren't this prepared. I'm not a victim. I'm a witness with excellent documentation. Sent him access to the full archive. 6 months of evidence. Every text. Every threat. Every time she'd followed me. The courthouse incident. All of it. Morrison spent an hour reviewing it on his tablet. This isn't a crime of passion, he said finally. This is premeditated attempted execution. Veronica was arrested that afternoon. 2 counts attempted execution. Physically attacked with a deadly weapon. They denied bail initially, but her attorney got it overturned, $500,000, which she posted immediately. She called me from her phone that night. I let it go to voicemail. This is your fault. All of this. You did this to me. You ruined everything. Save the message. Sent it to Morrison. 2 weeks later, the prosecutor called. We're taking this to trial, she said. Her attorney is trying to plead down to reckless endangerment. We're not accepting. But trials are unpredictable. Juries are unpredictable. And her lawyer is going to try to paint you as a vindictive ex-husband who manipulated evidence. She paused. We need you to testify. Full testimony. Cross-examination. It's going to get brutal. Are you ready for that? Yes, I told the prosecutor. I'm ready. Trial was set for 2 months out. Pre-trial motions. Discovery. Jury selection. The machinery of justice grinding forward. Alara spent those months in physical therapy. 3 sessions a week. Relearning how to walk properly. The surgery had been successful, her leg healed, but not perfectly. Permanent limp. Visible scar running up her shin. She never blamed me. Not once. That alone told me everything I needed to know about her character. My ribs healed faster. 6 weeks and I was back to normal physically. Emotionally? I'd already processed this months ago. The trial started on a Monday in November. Courthouse downtown, 3rd floor. Courtroom B. I sat behind the prosecutor's table. Alara beside me. Detective Morrison a few rows back. Veronica walked in with her attorney, different one now. The Stanford lawyer had dropped her after the evidence came out. This one was younger, hungrier, probably working for whatever she could scrape together. Veronica looked thinner. Pale. Wore a conservative navy dress and minimal makeup. Victim cosplay. She wouldn't look at me. Opening statements were exactly what I expected. Prosecutor, woman named Janet Reeves, mid-40s, reputation for winning ugly cases, laid it out methodically. This is a case about premeditation. About planning. About a woman who decided that if she couldn't have her husband, no one could. The evidence will show Google searches, deleted messages, stalking patterns, and a deliberate act of violence with a 2-ton weapon. Defense attorney tried the emotional angle. My client was suffering from severe emotional distress. A painful divorce. The trauma of watching her marriage collapse. She made a terrible mistake in a moment of psychological breakdown. This is not attempted execution, this is a tragedy born from pain. Then they called me to the stand. I walked up. Swore in. Sat down. Reeves started easy. Background questions. How I met Veronica. Length of marriage. My job. Standard foundation. Then, tell the jury what happened on the afternoon you discovered your wife's infidelity. I described it exactly as it happened. Timestamps. Details. No emotion. Just facts. And what was your immediate response? I documented everything. Backed up security footage. Called my attorney. You didn't confront your wife? No. I gathered evidence. Defense attorney objected. Your Honor, this shows premeditation on the witness's part. Judge cut her off. Overruled. Documenting marital infidelity is not a crime. Continue. I walked the jury through the divorce. Veronica's threats. Her social media campaign. The stalking. Every incident, every text, every time she followed me. Then the attack itself. The car was accelerating, I said. Directly toward us. I moved. Not fast enough. Ms. Quinn's leg was crushed on impact. And when you looked up, who did you see? Veronica. Standing over us. Not panicking. Not calling for help. Just watching. Cross-examination was supposed to rattle me. Mr. Opp, the defense attorney said. Isn't it true you moved on very quickly after the divorce filing? Just 5 months later you were in a new relationship? Yes. And you flaunted this relationship, didn't you? Knowing it would hurt my client? I lived my life, I said. Voice flat. She chose to try to destroy me for it. Objection. Sustained. Jury will disregard. But they'd heard it. The evidence portion took 2 days. Street camera footage showing Veronica's car waiting around the corner. Showing the acceleration. Showing intent. Phone records. The Google searches. How long for brake failure investigation? Can car accidents look intentional? My archive. Project Clarity in all its glory. Every threat. Every stalking incident. Timeline. Patterns. Everything. Deleted messages recovered by forensics. Texts about making me pay. About making sure Alara wouldn't last. Mechanical inspection report. Brake system perfect. No failures. No defects. The jury took notes. Lots of notes. Then Alara testified. She walked to the stand with her cane. Slight limp visible. Sat down. Described the attack. The sound. The impact. The pain. Can you show the jury your injury? She pulled up her pant leg. The scar ran from ankle to knee. Surgical incision sites visible. Metal hardware outline faint under the skin. 2 jury members looked away. Defense tried to suggest she was exaggerating. Medical records shut that down. Compound fracture. Emergency surgery. Permanent damage. Then Veronica took the stand. Her attorney advised against it. I could see them arguing during the break. But Veronica insisted. She wanted to tell her story. Started with tears. Described the divorce as devastating. Described seeing me with Alara as the worst pain of her life. I just wanted to talk to him, she said. I drove there hoping to see him. To explain. To apologize. And what happened when you saw them? I don't know. I got so angry. I pressed the gas. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I just wanted to scare them. Reeves stood up for cross-examination. Ms. Hale, you testified you didn't mean to hurt anyone. But you also testified you pressed the gas when you saw them. Which is it? I meant, I wasn't thinking. You Googled can car accidents look intentional 2 days before this incident. What were you planning? Silence. Ms. Hale? I just wanted. What were you planning? Veronica's face crumpled. The tears were real now. Ugly, desperate tears. I just wanted him to feel what I felt. The courtroom went silent. Veronica realized what she'd said. Tried to backtrack. I meant emotionally, I didn't mean. No further questions, Your Honor. Reeves sat down. Veronica's attorney looked like she wanted to disappear. Closing arguments the next day were formalities. Defense tried to salvage it. Emotional distress. Psychological break. A woman in pain who made a catastrophic mistake. Reeves destroyed that in under 10 minutes. This wasn't a mistake. Mistakes are accidents. This was a choice. She chose to Google how to make execution look accidental. She chose to follow her ex-husband. She chose to wait around that corner. She chose to press the gas pedal. Every single step was a choice. And Ms. Quinn will live with the consequences of those choices for the rest of her life. Jury got the case at 2 p.m. on a Friday. Deliberated 4 hours. Alara and I sat in the hallway. She read a book. I just sat. Didn't pace. Didn't check my phone constantly. Just waited. Morrison walked by once. However this goes, you did everything right. At 6:07 p.m., we got called back in. The jury filed in. None of them looked at Veronica. That's when I knew. Has the jury reached a verdict? We have, Your Honor. On the charge of attempted execution in the first degree, count 1, how do you find? Guilty. On the charge of attempted execution in the first degree, count 2, how do you find? Guilty. On the charge of physical attack with a deadly weapon, how do you find? Guilty. Veronica collapsed. Actual collapse, her attorney had to catch her. Sobbing. Wailing. I felt nothing. Just relief that it was over. Sentencing came 3 weeks later. Judge reviewed everything. The premeditation. The searches. The planning. Veronica's complete lack of remorse until she got caught. Ms. Hale, you had every opportunity to walk away. To accept that your marriage was over. To move on with your life. Instead, you chose violence. You chose to try to execution 2 people because you couldn't handle the consequences of your own actions. You showed no remorse until facing a jury. You represent a clear danger to society. 12 years. State prison. No parole eligibility for 8. Veronica screamed as they led her away. This is your fault. You did this. You ruined my life. Guards took her out. I walked out of that courthouse and didn't look back. The divorce finalized during her sentencing period. Emergency hearing since she was now incarcerated. Judge reviewed Deirdre's submissions. All of Project Clarity. The infidelity evidence. The threats. The criminal conviction. Mr. Opp, I'm awarding you full ownership of the marital home, all retirement accounts, and all joint investments. Ms. Hale will receive her personal belongings only. No alimony. No asset division. This court finds her conduct so egregious that equitable distribution does not apply. Sign the papers. Done. 6 months later, Alara and I were sitting in the backyard of that house. She'd healed as much as she was going to. The limp was permanent but manageable. She'd adapted. Started drawing again. Actually said the injury gave her a new perspective, started a series on resilience, botanical subjects growing through adverse conditions. We weren't married. Weren't engaged. Just together. No rush. No drama. She looked over at me. Do you ever think about her? No. Not at all? She's where she belongs. Why would I think about her? Alara smiled. You're an unusual person. I solve problems. She was a problem. Now she's not. That night, I posted an update to Reddit. I'd shared the original story months ago, people had been asking for resolution. Typed it out. I don't react. I calculate. When she was rewriting reality, I was archiving it. When she got reckless, I was ready. She thought I was hurt. I was building a case. The truth doesn't need my help, it just needs documentation. Attempted execution. Premeditated. Guilty. 12 years. Divorce finalized. House, assets, everything, awarded to me. She got nothing. I didn't destroy her. I just made sure the truth did. Cameras caught everything. My records filled the gaps. Her deleted messages? Already archived. She thought revenge was violence. Didn't understand that the best revenge is simply letting someone face the consequences of their own actions. Don't react. Calculate. Document everything. Let the truth do the work. Posted it. Closed my laptop. Alara was sketching at the kitchen table. Something delicate, looked like wild ferns. Life was quiet now. Peaceful. Clean. Exactly how it should be. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.